Hello, and thank you for watching this ag forecast for the Corn Belt. I'm Andrew Pritchard, Senior Meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. I'm going to start off with the satellite picture here, and again, the big story is going to be Delta making its way through the Gulf of Mexico and then landfalling in Louisiana tonight into tomorrow morning, then making its way into the Mid-South. We'll get some of that moisture into Kentucky and Tennessee over the back half of the weekend. Otherwise, a quiet end to the week from the west all the way into the Midwest here. Sunny skies for a lot of us as we get started here on this Friday morning. Turn it over and look at the radar, and again, here's all of the moisture from Delta. Of course, Delta's starting to work its way into some wind shear, so that's why we're starting to see some of the moisture blown off to the northeast away from the center of Delta. And again, that rain going to be advecting into Kentucky and Tennessee as we head through the rest of the weekend. Here's a closer shot of Delta here on Friday morning. Again, a Category 3 hurricane going to be making landfall over the coast of southern Louisiana as we get into the overnight, and early tomorrow morning it'll be downgraded to a tropical storm, quickly weakening after it makes landfall. We'll be down to tropical depression status as it makes its way into Tennessee by Sunday afternoon. So here's the next 7 days of precipitation from the National Weather Service. Again, we're watching heavy precipitation across the Pacific Northwest. We're watching Delta and its moisture making its way off to the north and to the east as we head into the weekend. And then we'll also watch for the chance for some more organized shower and storm activity accompanying a pretty big storm system that's going to be swinging into the central U.S. as we get into the back half of the weekend into early next week. Now, where we're going to stay on the dry side is across the southwest into the southern and central plains, and then on in here into parts of the eastern Corn Belt and the Great Lakes, parts of Illinois, Indiana, and northern Ohio, southern Michigan, really seeing the precipitation forecast scaled back with this late weekend and early week storm system. It's going to be looking like we'll be keeping things rather dry with a shot of some showers and storms on Monday, but that is going to be about it. We'll look at the temperature forecast over the next 10 days, the next 5 on the left, and then the 5 days that follow that on the right. And again, we're dealing with some warmth as we build ridging in across the midsection of the country. A warm weekend, trending cooler as we head into next week. Now, we're warm right now because we're caught between a big trough in the Gulf of Alaska and a big trough swinging off across the North Atlantic. So that's how we're seeing this warmer air mass migrate back into the Corn Belt. We will be taking this trough, though, and dragging it inland across the Pacific Northwest and then across the northern plains into the Great Lakes as we head through the next 4 to 5 days. Here's how that happens. We get a very strong jet stream, a very strong jet extension across the Pacific Northwest. That's what helps move this trough ashore as we head into the weekend. This is the look as we get into Sunday and Monday, and then we'll take it even further as we go into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday of next week. At this point, we see the trough set up from northern Canada down to the Great Lakes, and we're going to be seeing several pretty powerful systems rotate around the backside of that, and I think that's going to be bringing in several shots of cooler air as we head into the later part of next week. So across the Corn Belt, a warm weekend, but bit by bit we will chip away at that as we head into the coming week. This will illustrate that point a little bit better. I'll just hit play here. You'll see the trough set up right there, and now watch these waves just pinwheeling around it at this point as we get to the end of the loop. So I'll show you what happens here. Again, we start off here on this weekend. We've got Delta down here. We've got our big jet extension across the Pacific approaching from the west. We've got the big trough here across the North Atlantic. So we're caught between as we go through the weekend. A warm, quiet weekend for many of us across the Corn Belt. It's as we get into Sunday and Monday, we see the first part of this wave moving in. So here's the first wave. As we get into Monday, that brings that chance for a couple of showers and storms from the Great Lakes down into the eastern Corn Belt. And then as we get going through next week, that's when we just see these waves. Here's a second one coming around the backside. Here comes the third one right here. This is a pretty potent wave making its way in as we get into Wednesday night and Thursday. And then another one coming around right there as we get into Saturday and Sunday of next week. So this appears to be where we're headed. Back toward a ridge over the Pacific, over the west coast, to a trough here across the Great Lakes. That means we'll probably be warming up across the west and then cooling down again across the Great Lakes and parts of the Corn Belt. We do have to talk about a couple of opportunities for some thunderstorms. We'll look at the thunderstorm index here that we run internally at Nutrien. Later today, we'll watch for the chance for a couple storms in the UP of Michigan and northern Wisconsin. We'll watch this system make its way in here as we get into Sunday and Monday and talk about a couple of opportunities for some storms. The first of which on Sunday afternoon across portions of the northern plains, eastern North Dakota into northern Minnesota, maybe far southern Manitoba. seeing the opportunity for a couple strong storms on Sunday afternoon. And then as we get into Monday, we'll take this to 4 p.m. on Monday afternoon. The cold front should be right about here and out along and ahead of that cold front. Just a low risk of a couple of strong storms here across parts of the eastern Corn Belt into the Great Lakes. So here's the high-resolution NAM model. Let's take a look at the precipitation forecast as we head into the weekend. Again, should be quiet for many of us. As we head through the day today, we'll see some of these showers and storms lifting into parts of Kentucky and Tennessee, more widespread toward the west, so western Kentucky and Tennessee seeing the most numerous shower and storm activity until we get into the overnight, and then it'll become a little bit more widespread across both states. Keeping it dry across the remainder of the Corn Belt, though, as we head into the weekend. This is now Saturday afternoon. Along and south of the Ohio River Valley, we're seeing some of that moisture from Delta. Quiet elsewhere across the Corn Belt. Keeping it quiet Saturday night into Sunday morning. Now, this is going to be sunrise on Sunday morning. Maybe some of these showers and storms working their way into southern Illinois, southern Indiana, pretty widespread across Kentucky and Tennessee. Again, this is Delta that's bringing this moisture in. Our big storm system that's approaching from the west is still off across the Pacific Northwest as we move through the day on Sunday. Now, we'll take a look at the European model. This will help us take it a little bit longer into next week. So we'll go quickly through the day today. Again, Delta making landfall tonight into tomorrow morning, moving across the state of Louisiana. By sunrise on Saturday morning, the center of Delta should be in northern Louisiana with that shower and storm activity lifting into Kentucky and Tennessee. We'll take it through the day on Saturday, quiet for everyone except for those folks along and south of the Ohio River. And it's as we get into Sunday morning, we can see southern Illinois, southern Indiana tapping into some of that shower and storm activity. Here comes our big storm system across the northern plains. We'll see windy conditions on Saturday, but precipitation waits until Sunday afternoon to get going. Remember, we talked about the chance for a couple of strong storms across the northern plains, maybe northern Minnesota on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. And then as we get into the day on Monday, we'll see this system, this front moving off to the east, taking the shower and storm activity into Wisconsin and Illinois early in the afternoon on Monday, and then pushing off to the east into parts of Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio Monday evening and Monday overnight. This will bring the first shot of cooler air. It will be cooler and drier as we head through the middle part of next week. A couple of quick-moving systems could bring some light precipitation to the Great Lakes here, one on Tuesday into Tuesday night. A second one cuts across the Dakotas into the Great Lakes here during the day on Wednesday. This one brings another shot of cool air. And then here comes another one forecast to come swinging in here as we get into next weekend. This one clearly bringing in some cooler air as you see the chance for some snow there. Now, we're not locking this in next weekend, but this appears to be the pattern that is being advertised here. Again, just returning to a pattern with a ridge in the west, and then these little clipper-like systems. Well, they're not clipper-like systems at this point. They're rather intense waves. There's a 998 millibar low. But these systems riding up and over the top of the ridge and just swinging into the Corn Belt, bringing a shot of cooler air with them. So it appears the warm weekend is going to be a thing of the past here, at least as we head into the 10 to 14 day time frame. Here's your total precipitation forecast between now and next Wednesday from the European Ensemble model. And again, heaviest precipitation accompanies Delta, moving from Louisiana into Kentucky and Tennessee as we head through the weekend. Second heaviest round of precipitation here going to be found across the Pacific Northwest, and then across the Great Lakes where we tap into a little bit more of the moisture from the frequent storm systems moving through the region. Minnesota and Wisconsin, you got that chance for a half an inch to an inch. Elsewhere, though, we are dry across the west into the central and southern plains, and then here across the eastern Corn Belt, we've got a chance for a couple of showers and storms, but they will be scattered in nature and relatively light, so probably just looking at a few tenths of an inch here for many of these showers and storms that move through. Dry through Monday. Monday is when that chance for showers and storms arrives in the eastern Corn Belt. And then as each of these little systems dives out of the northwest, maybe we'll be talking about the chance of another spotty shower or two, but generally dry as we head through the next week or so, except for those folks across the northern plains, and then those folks across the mid-south who will be impacted by Delta. Now here's the temperature trend. Again, warmer as we head through the weekend into early next week, but then progressively cooler shots of air as we head deeper into next week, so we'll see that cooling trend. Here are your high temperatures as we head through the weekend into early next week. Look at that, 80s and 90s across the midsection of the U.S. today. Very warm for early to mid-October. Here's your forecast highs for Saturday, Sunday, and then as we head into Monday and Tuesday, you're seeing the first couple of shots of cool air dropping us back to about where we should be this time of the year, which is 60s and 70s for just about everyone here across the Corn Belt during the afternoon hours. but then we'll keep seeing those shots of cool air being delivered as we head deeper into next week. My bet is by the time we get to next weekend, we're looking at quite a cool central U.S.